but you're so right. We're losing track of time, buying things online, and it's not like we need them. We don't need them. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to slow down. Embrace the love we found. For you and I are safe and sound. We were on the run, rocking around the clock. Now all we need is right here in front of us. In front of us. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to slow down. Embrace the love we found. For you and I are safe and sound. Can we just slow down? And we just slow waste another day. I don't know how to stay. You say we need a change, feel that you need it. But you're so right, we're losing track of time, buying things online, it's not like we need them. Safe and sound. White lies blur our lips, sweet as poison. Fell ill from your kiss. I got drunk off your demons. One sipping, I'm lovesick. Built a home, turned to ruins. Followed you into the night. Couldn't let you leave, watch you leave on. Nothing less come daylight. Come daylight. You played with my head, guilt free in my bed. So used to being forsaken.
So I work at Amazon. I'm actually part of the Ops Tech IT team, which is just like operations IT. aside from that, I just pretty much game. I'm at home with my fiance and 4 cats, and taking care of our newborn son.
We are here today for the Corporate Esports Association Overwatch 2020 Spring Playoffs. It is going to be a spectacular day. After most of it only does get one as the Blizzard comes out on the backside. T also going to find the Deadeye onto Specs on the high ground. Google has to press on the pedal to try and touch this point. And they're not! Oh, it comes up short. Amazon Fire Force will be able to take Volskaya Industries.
CEA to me is like an organization that pulls together a lot of these like top companies around the world. I think it's like a great team building function, and then also it's for a great cause. It's for charity.
And since two members showed up in the top lane, they're immediately going to go for the dive in the mid lane with the damage on the Pandoria. Going to be able to pick up the kill. Twice over for Apocalypse. Everyone else is going to be running for the hills. Nobody wants to be able to join in this fight. With the minions there, the Baron's still on everybody. This is going to be the grand finals for Team Amazon Stock Dip. They've got the money, $5,000 for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. They have secured it for themselves with a 3-0 victory.
Yeah, so like losing to Adobe was like pretty heartbreaking. I got like the second place trophy in the mail. I'll see it like every day. I'm like, it's like a reminder, like you have to do better. You always have to like somebody out there is better than you. Like you should always try to be the best. But like we're definitely gonna come back way stronger, way better. We don't want to drop another game during the season. We definitely don't want to lose in grand finals.
Adobe Illustrators taking this next map.
And then you joined LGD like March, April, somewhere around there. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to some CEA Dota 2 action. We are here for the Corporate Esports Association. We're going to be continuing some incredible action between some of the biggest brands in the business world, all of them bringing their talents and their minds into the battlefield of Dota 2 rather than just the boardroom. I'm Snare. I'm going to be joined by Camille, KC, Mr. KChicktay. How are you doing tonight, my friend? How are you feeling?
I'm doing great, sir. Thank you for asking. I'm always excited to cast some Dota 2. It should be a fun matchup. We've seen Silver Edge Left play before. And if I could just shill for Microsoft a second, I know you're gonna hate me for this, Snare, but I honestly like the new Microsoft Edge browser. The updates are pretty nice. It's a usable browser now.
Oh, well, so we already know which direction that Camille's going for in this game. So the Silver Edge Lords already have a fan in their corner. I mean, I'm sure they picked up some fans from you guys last week, right? Because this is not the beginning. This is week number 3. We have had a lot of lead-in coming into this one. And last week, we saw the Silver Edge Lords play in a pretty topsy-turvy matchup. But things went wild, things were crazy. It was yet again another stomp, but they've already gained themselves some fans. But Camille, what do you think? Do you think this trend of stomps every single week is going to continue? Or do you think today we're going to see something new coming in from the Google Baarga, something that we haven't seen before from them?
Yeah, that's the thing with Dota. It can be a really topsy-turvy game where you're just a little bit behind, and it just feels like the one team is way better than the other team. So that can usually happen sometimes, but I don't know. I think that 65-minute epic that you'd like to see will come up one of the weeks for sure. Is this the week? I don't know, but it will happen, Snake. It will happen.
I hope so. I hope so, you know? I mean, it is a new team that we're going to be having here. Google Baarga hasn't been seen at all. It's only the 3rd week, so there's still a lot of teams that are going to be popping up for the first time here on stream. So what we were talking about this sort of off stream, the kind of things that people need to do to try and win this out. And we've already seen what Silver Edge Lords can bring to the table. So given the fact that there's tape on them, right? Do you pull out some cheese or do you just play solid right here? Come through, swinging normally, drafting properly, picking dogs here first phase, and then just trying to run away with the game like that.
I think if you remember the game last week where you were kind of worried about the draft that they picked, they would look really greedy. What did they go? Medusa Spectre? No?
Yeah, the last time, 2 weeks ago, it was Medusa Spectre. It was, it was pretty greedy. It was pretty insane.
It was very greedy, but what I liked what they did is, even though they drafted greedy heroes, they drafted very strong laners. Like the Medusa smashed her lane, the top lane was okay, bottom lane did well. So mind really if teams pick too greedy, because obviously, you know, when you do draft greedy in Dota, it always gives you a chance to make comebacks in the game. So That's why Spectre, if you look at his win rate on Dota buff, is always near 60% because of that very reason, right? You always have a chance to win then. But if you don't win your lanes, game becomes very, very difficult. So I'd like to see teams draft with a good balance of scaling to the late game, but also being able to win their lanes, kind of like Silver Edge Lords did last week.
Yeah, but I've been kind of feeling that like the lanes, as important as they always have been, lately it's been seeing like if you can't fight in the mid game, I've seen how many
Yes.
times we've been seeing lately where you dominate the lanes, but then you get mid game, you don't really have any decent combinations for your fights, so you just get rolled over, and like you just feel paper thin.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have quote unquote stronger heroes, just feels like you do nothing if they don't coordinate well together, right?
Yeah, that is a situation. It's also like the case where Dota right now, it's funny that Dota used to be, if you watch Dota in the olden days, like way back TI4, TI3 days, was such a slow game. You never realized it at the time because that's just how Dota was played. But now, literally one constant pro. I mean, heroes like Ember Spirit, Void Spirit, these heroes that can just get in and fight, fight, fight all the time are the best heroes in the meta right now because
Mm.
like, that's exactly how the game's played, right? You don't want to have a hero who just needs to sit and farm the whole time. I mean, if you have a hero like Spectre in a safe lane, it's also pretty nice because obviously you can always join the fight late game. I think even anti-mage, like historically one
Oh,
of the
yeah.
greediest heroes in Dota 2, is a hero I think that's really good right now because he farms so fast and Maroomba around the map so quickly with Blink. You can always make it to a team fight with your team. Always TP back to lanes to farm because he's so maneuverable. You can really give that advantage from very early stage in the game. So I think the meta right now, crazy
Actually,
but fun.
you're right. Now that you mentioned it, it wasn't Spectre. It was Anti-Mage, right? And you know why I remember it was Anti-Mage that was being played that game? Because he skipped boots for like 20 minutes in the game. Then remember there was that one fight he showed up with BTs and came through out of nowhere. And we're like, oh my god, this is some next level Kappa plays. Nah, but this, I can't actually believe it. I'm sick of Anti-Mage. I will be okay if I had never seen
Yeah.
this hero for another month. And you know how I feel normally about these hyper carries. Quite giddy, but generally to watch them play out. But lately it's been a bit much, especially because like Anti-Mage in particular, it's the best of both worlds. You shouldn't be able to have that presence in the late game and also be a constant threat. It's kind of like, do you remember
Mhm.
what Morphling was like 2 patches ago? Where it was,
Yes.
okay, this is dumb. This is ridiculous. So nah, this needs to change at some point. I kind of feel like this needs to be overturned.
Um. Okay, I don't think it was as extreme as Morphling was 2 patches ago because Morphling was also super strong in the laning phase, and that was like the laning stage meta as well. So that was a bit more ridiculous. I think Anti-Mage still does have a couple of weaknesses. There are a couple of heroes in the offlane that really um counter him very well. Heroes like Underlord can pressure Anti-Mage super well in the lane. Heroes like Legion Commander kind of counter Anti-Mage in the game. So there's ways you can deal with Anti-Mage, but I do agree that he has a nickname Anti-Fun for a reason, Snake. It's never fun to play with Anti-Mage in the game. It's just that ticking time bomb. You just you just pick one too many intel heroes and you just whole team can get popped one time with one mana void. It's not conducive to good sport Dota 2. Like there's no camaraderie among friends when you play against anti-mage. Like just get me out of this game.
I mean, to be fair, sometimes the best camaraderie is being like, hey man, we won. And this is how we won. So, get good. That's the camaraderie of Dota 2. I mean, like, I saw a game, where was it? I forget if it was a Russian game or a Chinese game, where the team had anti-mage techies. And a part of me
Oh
actually died
god.
inside to see this. So I was like, how are you supposed to play against this? What on earth are you supposed to do to try and survive just this ordeal, this raw ordeal? Of just AM techies. The whole game is just going to be sucky. Just going to be awful. It's going to be terrible. So, nope. I'm hoping that we get some fun today, right? Because, like we mentioned, we don't want to stomp on something a bit more competitive. But at the
Yeah.
same time, want it to be a fun competition, right? If it's going to be a brawl, we want some things like Ember Spirit. We want the Gyrocopters. We want the Zeuses. We want the Undyings. We want the Witch Doctors. We want the Warlocks. Take away the AMs. Take away the Techies. Take away the ODs. As much as I think ODs are garbage hero, I'm actually very sad whenever I see people play it because I know there's one person, there's a carry player who's inside life being like, "Oh man, now I have to rush BKB. This kind of sucks. This is awful."
There was that meme my friend sent me the other day. It's like never tell a man ask a man his age, ask a woman their weight, and then we're like ask a carry where's their BKB. Kind of an offensive joke in a way, but the punchline was real great about the carry and the BKB. But yeah, I think OD is a weird hero. Like in most games, you don't see him, but sometimes it just comes into a match where They don't really have a counter for him. He counters 1 or 2 heroes, gets ahead in the laning phase, and can just absolutely take over game. I think OD is the only other hero like that I can equate that's like PA, where after a certain point you fall behind, there's nothing you can do to come back. Literally nothing, because it's just so much more farm than you.
Yeah, and there's pretty much nothing you can do at that point. Just like, well, we're losing now, boys. The only question is, are we going to lose with this guy setting damage numbers after yanking the R button or not? Or is it going to be like a calm, oh, well, slowly but surely this goes in the opposite direction from us? I don't know, man. I don't like these heroes that, over the years, as much as I hate to say it, we've talked about heroes that are annoying, that make life difficult for you. Vipers, Venom monsters, etc. And one of the reasons I don't like playing Viper anymore is that Viper is no longer a pure, hard, anti-fun hero. And Dota is better off for it, even though, my life is worse because I can't play our anti-fun hero anymore. And I think Dota
I don't know
should
if
move
that's
away
true
from
anymore,
things
is
like
there?
Dota.
It's still pretty
Yeah.
anti-fun with the way they reverted the Q to way they used to be, so you can just Q and it keeps on stacking. It's the same. It's the same as like in its glory days. Honestly,
It's not the proper glory days, man. It's not the. Do you remember the old corrosive haze, bro? Or corrosive skin?
okay, but
Sorry.
relative to that build where you just max the nether toxin and farm
No, toxin,
jungle,
yeah.
so they
I mean,
kind of
okay,
brought it
relative
back.
to
It's
that,
compromised.
but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The game isn't ruined for you the moment you see someone pick Viper, right? You're not just like, well, this sucks. It's
Yeah,
kind of
this
like
is
even
a
Broodmother,
good
right?
showing of your character that this is the things you miss in Dota right now.
I must be annoying people, man. I mean, how even the Broodmother nowadays, Broodmother is no longer an anti-fun hero. It's just now just cheesy. But you can deal with cheese. It's not like, ugh. Now you're just like, really, bro, Brood, you're going there? Okay, fam. It's not just like everybody in the game starting to sweat immediately. So, but the point is, if we're doing this for all the heroes, OD should be next. Make him less fun. Make him less anti-fun, rather. Make it more difficult for him to just remove you from the game.
Yeah, OD is a kind of a weird hero because I think the big change that really affected him is that when they took away his ability to farm ancients, he kind of fell off. Because when his
Yes.
Q was splash damage, whether the hero was good or not, it'd still be picked because he used to farm very quickly. So you always get that. You always had a way to get an advantage in the game and had a comeback mechanic. Now that they took that away again, which used to be his traditional weakness, he's kind of garbage again. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I never like. I'm always happy if OD is not in the meta. Honestly, one of the heroes I hate the most in Dota 2. It's just that hero is conducive to anti-fun. The only thing I like about it is that when you're playing anti-mage, you can blink in, mana void him for 17 million damage.
Oh my
It's good
goodness.
to go.
Then you just destroy him. Well, I think anti-mage is probably even more anti-fun at this point. Although I have a suspicion that we're not going to be seeing that many anti-fun heroes in the game. It's going to be something exciting, enjoyable. We'll probably see Undying, maybe a Zeus, maybe a Storm Spirit. I know you like that hero. How do you feel about your boy still being a bit dumpster tier, even though people are trying to make it work?
What hero? What hero are you talking about, Snare?
Storm, bro. Garbage tier.
Dude, Storm is not garbage tier. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, listen. He has some weaknesses because in this ultra brawl heavy meta, if you don't like, you need to be in a certain position in the game to keep on going in that like with the snowball. But so if you don't get there, okay, games can be really hard at Storm. Let's not mince our words. But again, like Orchid is super cheap now. It's like 3,400 gold. If you have a decent lane, get your Orchid in a good timing, dude. You just survive over and over and over again. You can play like your Spirit Brothers, your Void Spirits and Ember Spirits. So I like it. But again, you can get counted every now and again, which is not too fun. But you can never have Storm too good because then Blitz always gets like he'll just blow up. But yeah, I like Storm. I also think Storm in the metas where he's too strong, also not conducive to a fun meta because the hero's kind of toxic.
I do think that it's the
In the
worst
same
of the
realm as
spirit.
anti-mage is toxic, by the way. Carry on, though, Snare.
Yeah, AM is definitely toxic. I think personally it's like the least strong of the spirits. I'm just memeing you because pretty much every single game we see one of these spirits in the draft, and there's going to be a draft coming up very, very soon, ladies and gentlemen. So we're not far away from that. We're most likely going to see the other spirit heroes being either picked or banned. But either way, I always like when you can have a complete set. But maybe it's balanced, right? That 3 of the 4 can be decent at any given time, but not all 4 at once. So I'm overall okay with it. I'm overall fine with it.
Storm,
I think what makes
Ember,
life hard for
Void,
Storm,
Earth.
yeah, dude, 4 of them. You know what sucks for Storm is that, like you were mentioning, Orchid is
Spurs
cheap
in the
now.
meta again.
Sort of. It's not winning,
Alright.
but I see some people play it. You're like,
I
oh,
get your
okay.
point that Storm's strength is that Orchid's cheap now, but his weakness is also that Orchid's cheap
Orchid's
now.
cheap.
So it is a bit of a catch-22 there. I think out of all the Spurs, Ember Spirit has to be my favorite. I think
Yeah,
just some games, the way he plays, the things he can do, nobody can compete, right? Even like Void Spirit likes to brawl a lot, but not at the same level as Ember Spirit, you know?
definitely not. Definitely not. And well, ladies and gentlemen, the wait is finally over. Without any further ado, we are now live. Week number 3 of CEA Dota 2 action will be commencing. The Google Bragas going up against the Microsoft Edgelords, and it's going to be a straight up best of one. You only got one shot at this, you can't mess it up. And the draft's going to
You
go
know, I really
live.
thought you were going to break into rap there. I thought you were going to go full Eminem. One shot, one opportunity, mom spaghetti, the whole shebang.
Yo. I can't give them a mixtape for free, fam.
Oh, fair enough, fair
I
enough.
might drop the SoundCloud link at the end of the stream, though.
It's funny you bring it up. One of our producers was on the stream earlier with us in our chat, and he was singing, and I heard somebody singing, and I just assumed it was you, and I was like, "What is this guy singing?" He's like, "You could have asked me." I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize you were singing. I thought I was my co-caster because he's always singing."
Yeah,
so yes,
it normally is
I
me.
get the mixtape for free often. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but you know that it's just IP, man. You just get the early review samples. You still gotta pay for the
enough,
original
fair enough.
masters when they come out.
There we go. Give me that FLAC audio files to play my Google Play Music. Haha.
Lol. You know, it's a FLAC version of
Until
drafting.
Google inevitably shuts it down. Feels bad, man.
Eventually, one day is one day. You know, in terms of like, if we're talking about different levels of audio quality, you know, it's the FLAC version of drafting, nah? Is first banning Rubik. You see, that's FLAC level. You're like, well, nope. You were talking about this earlier, right? What's the one hero that's going to ruin your lanes? If you want to win, lanes are nice. If you want to win your lane, don't play against Rubik and you'll probably be okay, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as a pos 4 as Rubik, it's very easy to win your lane. You just go to the lane, press W, and that's more or less done. I like the bans all around. I think the Spectre Ricky ban I like a lot. Very cancerous heroes that can scale it. Like, I think Ricky's a weird hero, opposite of Spectre, where Spectre's good in the laning stage, mid game, late game. Like, he can play anytime, all the time. Where Ricky is like, he's really useless in the game until he's not. And when he is good in the game, once he has that diffuser played, he just pops off. Like, he can just win you the game in those 10-15 minute period after diffuser played.
Definitely so. And this is actually interesting that they go for this Warlock pick, because generally I've often seen this whenever it's first picked, and like to see this normally paired with the Spectre. So Baarga, though, making the decision to just pick it by itself. Maybe, oh my gosh, bro. Not they telegraphing right now. I would 100% pick Anti-Mage immediately after picking this Warlock. So I think that's where we're going, fam. I think we have to already prepare ourselves for some AM gaming here.
Oh, I forgot they changed the pick order. It's only 2 bans at the start of the game now. I was like waiting, when's the next bans coming? Why did Warlock get picked? But yes, this is a completely new meta. The Anti-Mage could come out now. I'm actually a bit upset I didn't see it get banned in the first phase, because like you say, when you have Warlock in your lane as an Anti-Mage, you just get that constant sustain, you just get healed up all the time. Never have to really worry about things. I think Warlock, you know better than me, Snare, but don't you change the build now? You max, he's slow, right, for team fights?
For team fights, yeah, but then if you have a strong enough lane with the Anti-Mage, you can just like get the value points in it, just to get into the Shadow Word. But definitely Upheaval is very good as a spell. And given that Darkseer is still available in the pool, if you're able to set things up such that you can get Darkseer with Warlock with Anti-Mage, you've already gotten yourself some pretty hefty teamfight combinations, some extremely good scaling for the late game, guaranteed teamfight, if nothing else, at least initiation in all occasions. So that direction is available for them. And like you mentioned, since you're all maxing out Upheaval anyway, you know, after you get Vacuum Upheaval, dude, when you see it, you start thinking about, yeah, something's wrong with this. This can't be allowed. This has to change at some point. This is ridiculous.
You know, it's funny you brought up Storm Spirit earlier, but I really like Storm Spirit against Warlock. I mean, maybe against Timber it's kind of rough, but against Warlock you always have a target you can just zip on, kill it immediately in fights. No There's no real response when you're playing Warlock. I mean, unless your team picks up the slack. And Timbersaw is not a hero that has disables either. So Storm doesn't look too bad here in this game, actually. Although I don't know how the lane is Storm versus Timber if it's a mid Timber.
I'm actually trying to figure out why the early Timber pick. I suppose it is sort of a flex pick. You can get this middle, you can put this in the off lane. You have these madmen, can sometimes play it safe lane, but I don't know that there's enough revealed to necessitate the Timber store pick. And now you just sort of pick around it and make life difficult for them on the Timber player. Like, this has always been one of these finicky heroes that unless you have a god tier Timber Saw player in a meta where Timber Saw is amazing, whenever you first to it, it always seems extremely risky in my opinion.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, my biggest issue with they draft as well is beyond just the Timber pick, where, I mean, you can always make Timber work. Well, not always, but you can try to always make it work. But they have 2 heroes in their opening pair with that has no disables. Very much worries me. I think having disables is the easiest way to play Dota. Stun a hero, kill a hero. So easiest method to win. Where if you look at Silver Edge Lords, you already have that, right? You have 2 forms of disable with the Lion. You have a team fight control spell with the Darkseer. Have the maneuverability with the Surge as well. Where I guess you have the big ulti in Warlock, but that's 180 seconds for a 1 second stun. You know? Well, 1 second stun for the whole team. There's no undersell chaotic offering, but
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know. I'm not sold yet. Maybe they have other solutions coming in the next phase of drafting, but for now, really are lacking disables.
Yeah. Personally, I don't even like this Lion hero. I haven't liked this. The last time I thought Lion was a decent hero was when MMY was playing Lion back in the day. Then it's like, okay, fine, you can play Lion, but nobody else. But the one good thing in this game that it does give them a source of mana burn versus Timber Saw. So we might see one of these few games where you actually level up the mana burn beyond the mana drain beyond level 2. Like you mentioned, the dual disable, get some decent burst. And if the game ever stretches long enough that you get Aghanim Scepter, can work quite well with the Darkseer, but work quite well with Darkseer anyway, just being able to get decent vacuum and spike combinations.
Yeah, for sure. Lion is kind of a finicky hero in a way that when he is broken in the meta, you see him always and all the time, but when he isn't, you like almost never see him. In this game, it's kind of weird against Timber. It is a decent amount of disable and burst for him, but at the same time, you know, Timber can get so big where it feels like it doesn't matter. So we'll see how it goes. I do like Lion against Timber Saw though. In general, it feels like you can always disrupt him in a way.
We see some Spirit Ban finally come out. It's going to be the Void Spirit removed. We haven't seen any of the other brothers taken out thus far. Broodmother ban out on the other side by the Silver Edge Lords as well as the DP. We saw last time that
celebrate in your room when you saw the Broodmother ban, Snare.
Oh, super hyped, dude. No, actually, honestly, I celebrated the Doom ban more than I celebrated the Brood ban. You know, Doom was like, no Doom, awesome. You know, I'm not going to be spending 5 minutes just watching some guy go into creep wave, grab a creep, and then go park in lane, and then press W. So much fun to watch, man. So much fun.
You know, as a Chinese Dota fan, you moaning about Doom it's very contradictory today. You're giving me mixed
Chinese Doom is different. Chinese Doom is different.
Doom is a very simple hero. You do nothing, you get level 6, you kill the carry, you put funny characters in all chat, you talk some nonsense, you do nothing for another 2 minutes, carry TPs back to lane, and then you just Doom him and kill him again, okay? Yeah, I like Doom. Makes the game easy to play. It helps with your team's targeting as well. Like you say, guys, I'm dooming this target, you communicate with your team, everybody collapses on that target, you know. I don't know, I'm not a hater. I don't really like greedy Dooms though. Like when the metas where you have to max your Q, which is like, I don't know if that's current meta still, but when you max Q, you buy a Midas. That's not fun. When you're getting like drums and stuff, you just divide all the time. That's fun. That's fun.
Doom. Well, speaking of another hero, another god that we hate seeing in this meta right now, Zeus. Oh my god, Zeus has been a sheer terror in every game. And it's kind of surprising to me that the Silver Edgelords banned Doom though, of Zeus rather, since they're the ones that are playing into a Timber Saw. So I kind of feel like you could have picked this up and had a pretty huge impact on this hero, especially later on in the game. But at the same time, if you're not planning to pick it, you know, I can imagine that you don't want to give them Zeus when they already have a built-in run at you. You will never be able to get to our backlines hero.
I really like this disruptor pick on the side of Silver Edgelord to combo up with the Darkseer. Now you have a clear combo with a Vacuum into Static Storm. Really nice there. I do see a Monkey King come up. So they didn't make recent changes to Monkey King, not that recent anymore,
10
where
seconds
Jingu
remaining.
doesn't do that much damage anymore, but you have significantly more armor on Monkey
5
King. So
seconds
this is a
remaining.
trade very successfully. You still do get a lot of damage from Jingu after a while, but you gotta get a few more levels up. But overall, how do you feel about this hero at the moment now?
I don't know. I personally don't really like Monkey King right now. I've kind of felt like it needs a little bit more. One of the things as well, I think, is the items that this hero sometimes buys have been, some of them have been buffed, but a lot of them have been made more expensive. So sort of disrupts the timings of the hero. I don't know. I kind of feel like also another huge thing that impacted Monkey King is that some of the huge heroes in the game, such as, in the off lane in particular, sort of do the same thing for your team fight that Monkey King used to do. And now, since there's not that much damage anymore, there's less reasons to completely pick this hero. But at the same time, he does scale a bit better since he's less afraid of moving up out of the map by himself. He's less susceptible to just being hyper ganked, which was one of the big issues for this hero. I don't know. We'll see. And this game, though, at the same time, there's not that many threats against the MK.
10
He can get
seconds
bursted,
remaining.
but they're going to try and probably reserve the glimpse for the Timbersaw. Every now and then they use it on the MK. And then, although if he gets Chrono, he's going to die every single time. That's going to suck for him. Actually, right now, I'm going to actually take that back. He might die every single time because he's looking like the juiciest target on his team. Nobody's going to want to jump the Timbersaw. Okay, they definitely needed a hero like Oracle. They needed the save. Yeah,
That's
this
a
helps
really
a lot.
good pick.
I don't like this with Oracle and Warlock together. Kind of an awkward support duo. A little bit of do-nothing heroes together, but nonetheless, I really like the idea
10
of having
seconds
this
remaining.
to back up the Monkey King and to back up the Timbersaw.
Dire team ban.
For sure, they needed some sustain in the team. I mean, Warlock sure has a heal, but it's not enough. Playing up against the likes of the Chronospheres, the Finger of Death, etc. I did like the Void pick from Silver Edgelord, but
Radiant
I honestly
team
think you put the idea in my head, but I really think Storm Spirit really is just the nuts this game. I think if you pick it, it's near GG. Very good against the Monkey King as a core, like core v core matchup. Sure, lane can be a bit difficult for Storm at times, but in the mid game, very very strong counter to Monkey King. And these two supports, absolutely no disables between the two
seconds
teams.
remaining.
Sure, Oracle has a root, but if Storm zipping you, that's not gonna do you any
5
good, my
seconds
friend.
remaining.
Yeah, I actually can kind of see where you're coming from. That any hero that can just reach the backlines without any difficulty, and like you said, since I still have no catch, they don't really have any real team fight. Like Google Baargas are almost entirely reliant at this point on them being able to snowball hard off the lanes and keep that momentum going with Timbersaw and Monkey King being pretty much unkillable. The way it's looking right now, I can't feel like the Timbersaw has to be off lane, and they need to put something else in the safe lane as a insurance policy. Although Silver Edgelords think they're gonna just go for the full hard cheese, they ban out the Husker because they're feeling they can probably also feel the same thing that the last hero you pick right now has to be your game winner at this point in the game for Google Baargas.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm not sure what in really round out they dropped. I
5
think another form of
seconds
disable
remaining.
could help a lot. Maybe they could. I think they just keep up this tanky strength core strategy. Maybe they go for like a Dragon Knight. I wouldn't be upset seeing like a hero doesn't really care about getting chronoed. Doesn't really care about all that burst damage from like the Alliance, etc. Like more heroes that soak up damage. You have these heroes to set, like you can play. There's a clear way you can play Dota. Sure, you don't have a lot of disables right now, which Dragon Knight does provide, by the way. It also gives you initiation. You can also then you can bring fights to you by putting the Dragon Knight and Timbersaw in the forefront, right? You force them to act on you. You have the great counter initiation with the Warlock and the Oracle. Monkey King can just do his own thing however he wants to fight. I mean, even Wukong's command is a great counter initiation spell, so maybe that could be the route they take with the current situation in their draft, but we'll see what they do. I don't know what
Medusa, pick Medusa. That's not what I was hoping they'd pick. I was hoping the idea I was hoping they'd go for.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, I don't know about
this is not the pick.
the
This
pick.
is not the pick by any stretch of the mean.
The main issue with Drow is that there's also nothing to.
Now select your
There's no
heroes.
boost for Drow, and there's nothing that Drow is boosting, right? There's no Gwen's Drow, there's no like Invoker Drow, Medusa Drow, it's just Drow.
DK was
And
the
then
pick,
they
is what I'm
Invoker.
saying. DK was the pick. Even Medusa kind of fills the same role that you mentioned, but
But
you just copied what I said, you know, the usual thing.
We got it, bro. We got
Yeah.
it, fight.
There we go. But this Disruptor set is actually amazing. Wow. From what? Is this Cash 3? Oh, the Cash. Where did it come from? I've never seen it before.
Dude, he looks like the Sage of Six Paths from Naruto. So, last pick Invoker on the side of their Silver Edge Lords really completes out this draft. I was thinking early on that they were having damage issues with their first 3 heroes, but that is mostly solved for them right now. They also have Cataclysm for the late game to combo up with Chronosphere, so every single bubble should result in a teamfight victory for Silver Edge Lords. KC, Kamster, how do they do it on the side of Google Baargas? How do you stop this?
I mean, the good thing about Draw Ranger, right? I hate it in this game. I'm not gonna lie to anybody on this stream. I absolutely hate this Draw Ranger pick in this situation. But after a certain point of farm and draw, if she can hit Void 3 times, and there'll be no Void existing anymore. She can hit Darkseer a few times, there'll be no Darkseer in the game. So Draw is one of those ultra late game carries that if you keep the game going long enough, will just take you to victory. But at the same time, man, getting there is gonna be quite the mission.
It will be a mission, and they don't really have any easy ways to get there, but nonetheless, here we go. Game number 1 of 1. It's the only one. It's the Silver Edge Lords going up against Google Baarga, and let it go. You know, the one thing that is there for Drow, I will say, in favor of her, is that at the very least, there is potential. There is a chance, if they snowball hard enough with the Monkey King and the Timbersaw, that they just never can get to her, right? Because the only real tool they have to catch on to Drow is sending Void atop her with this Darkseer as backup, and or just making sure that Disruptor is able to get a very sneaky disruption on the background of the fight, but it's not going to be nearly as easy as that, right?
Yeah, I think maybe depending on the build the Invoker goes, it might be his job to just like sneak around, try hunt in the jungle, play around like that. But like you say, they don't have. Like I suggested the Storm Spirit. I think Invoker does actually a better pick now that, after I see it. But they don't actually have that hero that jumps in the backline, like you say. So there is a lot to protect the draw as well. Like we say, we had this Oracle pick, we have this Warlock pick, which also good counter initiation, but still lacking stuns on the side of the Google 2 team. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. The boys of Baarga, we'll see if today is going to be the day that somebody is finally able to put a dent into the Silver Edge Lords. And they're setting up quite decently for their lanes. Down bottom, there's maybe a chance here for a first blood. Rabbit Ginger. Disruptor's been caught out a little bit here, but they've lost vision. And the job's been done. He's trying to create some space off the bounty rune. Who's going to get it? Raman gets it. So hashtag worth, even if he dies, which is not even going to.
So that's interesting. Draw actually could contest bottom with her team. Usually you see the mid players just sit around top bounty rune area to just get that safely and go to lane. So we'll have a disadvantage of block against 6FN as well. So I don't know, this lane could be difficult for Drow. Last sitting and denying shouldn't be too big of an issue. Drow has a lot of base damage to keep up with the Invoker. But after a certain point, there's always a threat from the Invoker. So gonna have to play a bit safe on above side.
Yeah, the threat is a little bit greater as well coming in from the Silver Edge Lords, because you have this Raptor coming in at points which will be able to supply both the additional control, and you can trigger off some cold snaps, which is definitely going to be in this game, given that we have an excellent Invoker. Drow should be fine for the most part, being able to farm a multi-shot, but like you say, the kill potential is there. Top lane, it's going to be this Faceless Void going up against this Timbersaw, both of them supported by the Lion and Oracle respectively. What do you think about this lane?
I think it's a very washy lane. I think both Timbersaw and Faceless Void should have a lovely time farming. I don't think there's any real... I mean, unless Timbersaw gets ultra bashed for like level 3, he should be okay. But as you can see, Hammock only level 1. No point in bash just yet. I don't think we're going to see much action top, if I'm going to be completely honest. Although Jav kind of takes a misstep here, going to get stunned up. He might actually just die for first blood. What am I saying? What do I know about the game? Okay, he'll be fine, as I predicted. Actually, Lion's going for it. 2-1? Is he going to get it? Oh, no, never mind. Oracle's base armor, tower armor, 295 move speed is not too bad for a support either.
Yeah. Ends up coming out away from that one in perfect shape. Nicely done there from Jav. Spent some time with Lion just hitting him. At the same time, Flaming Panda just kept getting the CS on this Faceless Void. And this is what's going to be really annoying. And the thing is, there's nothing that can cancel that in this lane, the mana drain. And Timbersaw needs every scrap of it as humanly possible It's going to be a DC, so small pause going to be required here. And while that's happening, it gives us an opportunity to just look into the bottom lane as well. So we have this GH playing with this Warlock. What do you think about this? I kind of feel like the way that this early laning phase has been set up, it's very, very washy, but that probably benefits Silver Edgelords given how they want to be playing the game.
For sure. This bottom lane, I think it's kind of an awkward lane. Warlock, Monkey King is not a very orthodox lane. You don't see this too often because I don't think there's much synergy in this lane. Again, I guess you could have the Warlock just continuously healing Monkey King, but you usually want to be bodying the lane, like have a lot of you really want to just dominate lanes when you play Monkey King, and I don't think Warlock allows him to do that, especially up against a Darkseer. There's no real threat for Ramen because he can always just surge away. So yeah, hopefully he gets his farm, but not a typical Monkey King lane. I'm not too happy about the setup for the side of the Google team.
Yeah, I think the Baargas could have... Personally, I feel like they should have rather put this Monkey King into the mid lane and then you put Drow bottom. I think that you can get a bit more aggression out onto this Invoker. It's not the same as it used to be in this Monkey King's heyday, but it's better than having to trade evenly versus this Darkseer hero who is definitely known for his prowess at dealing with these short-range heroes.
Nonetheless, in the early levels, I think Monkey King has a big advantage against Invoker in the lane.
Oh, definitely.
And Drow not really bothered by Darkseer, so that's a good suggestion you make.
But as we know, sometimes someone's just like, hey man, I want to go safe lane. And what can you tell them? What can you tell your player? You're like, alright fam. This mid lane though, look at this domination. 6FN. 12-6 versus the 6-1 of the Drow Ranger. Multi-shot notwithstanding, even in these early levels, 6FN is dominating right now.
6FN really was one of the star players in their last game as well. He really dominated in Medusa as he got an insane amount of farm, really was very efficient around the map in terms of the way he farmed, scaled very well, played with his team great. So 6FN having a good time is always a good sign for the side of the Silver Edgelords. And if we look at Flaming Panda up top, free farm. I thought this was going to be a wash lane both ways, but it seems that Flaming Panda had something to say about that. He's at 20, last hit 11 denies Void to a 4-1 Timbersaw. That is a smashing snare.
Woo! He is flaming indeed today. On fire. Looking fresh as hell. Making a lot happen here on the top side of the map. I think a lot of this is also down to how much pressure they've been trying to put onto this Timber, keeping the levels low on this hero. And though it's level 3 on both sides, every single time they're jumping directly onto RPO. I don't know, at the same time, I think they could have probably gotten more CS out of this. So I'm imagining that Anju has been doing his job as support. Takes a lot of damage from the Purifying Flames, but he's done his job. Forced them back. Flaming Panda still keeps farming. He's overall CS leader. Very, very happy with the situation. And the disparity between himself and Timbersaw is way greater than the disparity between the Monkey King and the Darkseer.
The Darkseer Monkey King, GH does have a good amount of farm. You know, he moved from Team Nigma to come play here for the Baarga team. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, Darkseer not the most farmed hero, but Darkseer is also one of those heroes that you don't have to have a perfect lane from the off lane, right? Team can make stacks for you. There's other ways to catch up. You can always push out lanes. Or you're always gonna provide something as long as you're not dying too much in your lane. You don't really have to complain.
It's one of these heroes where if the game is adequate, you're in a good position, and we finally see the first blood happening top. Anju doesn't even need to get the stun. They get the bash, they get the kill, bringing down Oracle. Oh boy, this is from bad to worse here in the top lane, because now we also have a death happening in the mid lane. A 6FN managing to chase down this Drow Ranger. The threat, as we mentioned, was always there, and the tornado, cold snap with the hammer, the meteor dropping directly on his head, and that's going to be a huge kill. That's a full-on solo kill here in the mid lane, KC.
Yeah, at a perfect time as well, as the Siege Dragon is approaching the tower, so can get a decent amount of tower damage as well. Doesn't look like 6FN wants to prioritize getting this tower. Gonna let the wagon die here. It's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. You don't want to overcommit. Again, you are playing as a Drow Ranger. You don't want to make any mistakes where you can give a return kill back because you already got such a big advantage. So probably try. He got his Midas now. Oh, not yet, but he got a lot of regen, which I was hoping he'd buy, so he can, you know, if Above shows back to the lane, shows up back to the lane again, there's no reason she shouldn't die once more on the Drow Ranger.
Yeah,
I think Above should be forced to retreat back to the jungle at this point already.
Dude, there's 2 levels of difference. It's so crazy. You don't get to see these kind of leads anymore in the mid lane. Everything's so close nowadays. But this time around, 6FN putting on a masterclass here. Well on the way towards picking up the Smite. Gonna get it around the 7-minute mark. At the same time, though, trying to go for another kill in the top lane. But Jarv does manage to walk away from that one. So things will still end up chilled. But what sucks though is that RPO is still not really able to get any farm here. He's just going on a bit of a wild goose chase against Anu. But he's still stuck on 8 CS. He's at this point, right? If Red Panda gets the next 3 CS and a couple denies, he'll be 5 times as farmed until the CS at the very least in RPO.
That is pretty ridiculous. And the unfortunate thing for the side of the Baarga team is that, unlike the Docs here on the opposing side, if Timbersaw doesn't have a good lane, he just doesn't have a game. There's no way he can catch up farm. He doesn't provide anything outside of being this big tanky boy. And when you don't have the farm and the items to sustain in fights, you are not tanky. That's just the unfortunate reality of playing Timbersaw.
Right now, though, Timber, his woes, hopefully he's going to be like, GH, carry us, fam. GH is like, I got you. I carried the Liquid to TI. Can do it again. Out here bottom, fairly well farmed on this MK. Doing decently well. There will be another death for Jarv around the mid lane. 6FN able to pick that one up quite easily. But things not looking nearly as bad for GH. And the thing is, they've been doing a decent enough job of zoning back Raman. So maybe this was the trade-off, right? They were like, okay, we're going to not put Jarv in this lane, who would probably farm more freely than she is going to be able to in middle. But we will make sure that Monkey King is at the very least going to be able to put out a lot of pressure bottom. They managed to be able to find a kill here. Raman ends up going down. He triggered off the Jingle Mastery. Boundless Strike did end up being triggered. Rabbit Ginger trying to run away right now. They cancel the healing salve. A bit of a wild goose chase here. And GH recognized it for what it is. And unfortunately for him, only 1 point into the Primal Spring, so not nearly enough range to the slows to be able to make that happen. So everything's cool, everything's fine. But still, nice kill on Raman.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of space created there as well from the Docs here, making sure Monkey King has to leave the lane for that chase. So even though they lose a hero, it's not like they lose everything down bottom. But like you say, this GH, man, becoming a bit of a problem here. 42 CS, 14 denies, both a kill in tow. So he's feeling confident in this game. And Monkey King also one of those heroes that doesn't really want to be having a bad start. Oh, be in trouble there on the Warlock, but Monkey King gonna be there with the save. Isn't it nice to see always, Snare, when the carry is saving their support? And now carry going for more here. Oh, Raman jukes the other way, but he's still gonna take a same amount of damage here from the Monkey. Is it enough damage? One more right click from GH. Should he? No, it isn't.
Oh, I feel like he should have kept chasing to that one. Even with the bonus armor from the tower, he definitely would have killed him once he got the angle on the Boundless Strike. At the same time, they end up losing Jarv again, but or rather not our Jarv, they lose the Timbersaw in the top lane. But GH doing a fantastic job down here bottom. Also, one thing that we didn't really talk about is the role that this Warlock is going to play. Outside of just being able to heal up the lane, the Fatal Bonds has been pretty impactful down bottom. And I can imagine in these larger team fights, how much of an impact that's actually going to make with this Monkey King, given the good start that he's had at this point in the game. Boundless Strike after Jingle Master has triggered off is very, very painful, especially when shared amongst everybody.
Listen, let me tell you something, Snare. Your man Flaming Panther, he has a formula, right? We saw him go for Battle Fury. It was Juggernaut what he played last time. He went brown boots into Battle Fury on Juggernaut.
Oh yeah, it was Jug, yeah, it was Jug.
And I can see he has a similar idea on the Void once again.
This is what he does. This is how he rolls. So this is the... You know, every player has their favorite cue. Like, if I'm playing my ideal heroes, I'll be able to play them in this ideal way. Down bottom, GH will try to get some revenge for losing out on Biko. He's trying to chase around Rabbit Ginger. Trying to just stay away for now. They end up triggering off the Dogseer wall, mostly just to make sure that they cannot use the Primal Spring on GH. He's going to use the Tree Dance in a couple of seconds. Oh, he's fine. He's fine. Okay, maybe he Primal Spring down. GH living life on the edge right now, just toying with them. But he does survive. Okay. Ooh, don't play with us like that, fam.
I mean, if he got on top of Rabbit Ginger, I think he actually kills him there. So he wasn't like completely mad. He probably would have lost his life, but he had an idea, dude. He had an idea. He's not a scared player. He's a brave player.
Speaking of bravery, there is a TP down bottom. It was from Jav. Unfortunately, they telegraphed the route from the Fortunes in a little bit too much, so Roman will be able to escape from that one. Mid, we did see your prediction come true, where 6FN completely zoned out above. Above is pretty much only returning to this lane to push out these Sea Dragons, but nothing else is really tractable for him. Been pretty rough. Hey, down bottom, Jav actually uses Purifying Flames to get a kill onto Rabbit Ginger by surprise. Dude, you know you're playing support, you never expect that much damage level 3 Purifying Flames does, right?
For sure, for sure. And 6FN might be in trouble. He's going to turn to try to fight against Abov's Draw Ranger. Above going to get pushed back. I really like what Above did. Sure, he had a rough time in lane. He died and things, but he made sure, like, it's 12 minutes and he still has his tower, right? He always came back, pushes out the lanes with his multi-shot, keeping the structural integrity of his team's map alive for now, which is a rather important thing. You don't want this Invoker to have free reign to roam around lanes, try gank and such. And keeping his own jungle safe. He stacked Ancients as well here. Gonna be a bit of a mission to farm at this point in the draw range, especially with the multi-shot on cooldown, but eventually he'll be able to get through these Ancients. It's gonna take him a while, but he'll get it eventually. And up top, we see a Chrono committed. They're gonna kill RPO once again. They throw the finger, they throw everything, but Timber, he's still alive. Can they get another bash? RPO gonna Timber chain away. The Sunstrike gonna come out, gonna be on the mark, but Oracle save is there. They're gonna go for this. They're throwing everything onto the Timber, so surely he should die, but Above making a nice rotation. Miranda, he's gonna get brought down. That's a kill for the Draw Ranger. He's gonna be a double here. Okay, never mind. Jav's like, don't worry, Draw. I got that one. It's gonna be secured.
MVP Jav in that entire fight, showing up with the false promise right on time. Upio doesn't die as scheduled. Might have to pay for this though. They got the Fate's Edict onto himself to prevent additional damage. 6FN trying to get this chase down. Not enough damage. Jav survives with 9 HP. The glimpse back will come onto Upio, not able to dodge it with the Timber Chain. And he instead is going to be the prize collected from this one. Jav would probably prefer that he dies rather than Timber.
How did the Timber survive? Like, I know he got false promise, but there was so much damage thrown onto him there. Maybe just with all the reactive armor stack and the added healing with the false promise, plus Jav throwing more heals on him all the time was enough. But I actually thought he was going to pop this, Snare.
Yeah, I also thought so. It was very close. And the thing is, the Sunstrike came at the exact same time as the false promise, so had it been thrown out a split second beforehand, it would have been a dead Timber and an Oracle with his hands in the air as he just like watches Timber die in front of him. But it's the way the cookie crumbles. And the big thing from that engagement is not just that they get the survival onto Timber, but they also get some kills onto Drow. Given how hard the game has been, a kill and an assist for this hero, very useful experience for her. It's time where they weren't really pushing out this map, so they just bought time. Sure, RPO eventually ends up dying in the top lane, but it's been a rough game for him so far anyway. He's expecting that trend will continue, so I think they're pretty happy with how the game is compared to how it could have been if that kill that didn't happen.
No, for sure. That's a great comeback for Drow, getting to get the kill onto the enemy Void. And that was a fight where it was the first chrono usage of the game, remember, Snare? And their first chrono ends up in them losing the Void. So, great fight for the side of Google Baarga. But a long way to go. So 3k network lead for the side of the Silver Edge Gold, and now it could extend. 6FN making the rotation bottom. They're throwing everything onto this Warlock. And Monkey King gets silenced. The tree breaks, but he doesn't get stunned, luckily. Gonna get sent back. I don't know if that was the play on the glimpse. It could have been a monkey kill, but it is what it is. They get their one pick off. They force a lot of rotations. Still a net win for Edgelords.
Honestly, they might be able to survive on there with the Warlock. There was a small moment, the tornado from the Invoker missed, and there was a small moment where Rabbit Ginger didn't think he needed to activate the kinetic field. Speaking of kinetic field, they throw it out again after a silence onto the Invoker. 6FN just a dash away. GH try to jump forward, get some damage out, but just go back to farming. At the same time, they finally do clear out this tower in the mid lane. Flaming Panda does have his Battle Fury now, and the formula shall continue. Even still has these brown boots, which I'm hoping is going to transition into BTs like before.
Seriously, is that what you're hoping for, Snare?
I want to see exactly the same game from this guy. I want him to be running a script and be like, this is how I roll. Listen. This man right here is a Microsoft engineer, right? He's probably involved in writing some algorithmic systems. I want to see him follow this algorithm. That's what I want to see. Bottom lane though, algorithm that's not being followed is the one of keeping GH alive as they jump on him with these three heroes. This time they don't have the Static Storm to commit, but they do have enough damage anyway, and they get the kill. That is pretty huge, and that was also the reveal of this Orchid from 6FN. Easy tier 1 tower bottom, right?
Yeah, 6FN is monstrously farmed at this point. Probably, if he gets the tower last, he'll be sitting at like 8k net worth at 16 minutes. Oh, he doesn't get it. He missed it. It feels bad. But that is a ridiculous amount. He's got 16 minutes. He's Midas and Orchid and well on to way to his pair of Boots of Travel, Snare. And yes, thankfully, Flaming Panda bought the power treads.
Aww.
His algorithm would have told him, Snare, that treads on Faceless Void is the best boot. Without exception.
Yeah, that's true. Treads are just this year just needs all the attack speed on Earth.
Listen, Snare, I know you take your brand seriously. What you would have really liked to see him wear is Gucci slides, but oh, dropping down low there to above. Draw, if you got lucky with 2 more procs, Void could have been in trouble. But talking about trouble, bottom lane, things are going down. They burst down the Monkey King once again. 6FN absolutely beasting on the Vocal right now, and he gets the Warlock. Excellent stuff from 6FN.
Okay, cool, fam. That was nice. That was him just styling on them right there. Beautiful plays into the Static Storm. They make use of the vacuum wall, ensure that there's absolutely no escape for GH. Sure, above has been spending some time farming in the jungle, but this GH hero. He's been stalled out almost entirely. Since he picked up this Echo Saber, he's murdered virtually no progression in the entirety of the game. Stuck now building into this BKB, but at the same time while that's happening, the result that you were mentioning is most likely to be terrifying, where 6FN can just run around the map is now super easy. He's got these BTs, he's got his Orchid. The map, nobody is safe if you aren't playing on the Silver Edgelord side of the map.
Basically, I found the best line here, right? The side of Google might have GH.
Bottom. They get Doxia killed. Okay. Let's hear the line.
Why are you worrying about the game? You're missing the line here, sir. They might have GH, but the side of the Silver Edgelord, the side of Microsoft, has Miracle Invoker.
Lol. The Miracle Invoker.
They're gonna go for Drow right here above. Everything committed onto him. They get the Chrono, they get everything. They burst him down. Oh, so many TVs coming out. Drow still alive. No, he eventually goes down. And 6FN, he bots in as well. Trying to burst on Oracle. Oracle still silent. Oracle gonna get put down. Does he? Yes, he does. And 6FN gonna get the invis out, so he's gonna be walking away as well. No. Bit of a rebuttal here. GH did try to go for him as well as RPO, but RPO might be in trouble here. They're gonna be a bit off the mark with the Ice Wall here on the Invoker. Sorry to steal that play-by-play, Snare. I just jumped in at the absolute right or wrong time. I don't know what to say.
Listen, this might be for CEA, right? But we share the means of play-by-play production, fam. Don't even worry about it.
Alright, it is what it is. Next one is yours, brother. Next one is yours.
You know what was pretty sick about that fight, right? As we were doing it, did you see the focus that was coming in at the end there from the side of the Silver Edgelord? They make the understanding, right? They kill Jaw first, and after all the TPs come in, instead of focusing on fighting around the Monkey King and the Timbersaw, they make it a point of making sure to get the kill onto Oracle, and then they immediately get out of dodge. They're like, cool, these are the important heroes that are dead. There's nothing else really to be gained in this fight. We get out, and if they keep chasing, we can turn on them. And eventually they realize the same on Google. That was some very nice team play. And now they control the entirety of the southern half of the jungle too, right? Because they also spent this time. He wasn't here for that fight, so Rapid Ginger was spending this time getting some movement out. He got down an Observer Ward. Now they're getting some D wards down too. Good times overall right now for the Silver Edgelords.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Now this itemization from Flaming Panda as well, going straight for the Manta. He can debuff the Draw Silence, he can debuff the OO. Before we get to that, we see Draw making the move. The Chaotic Offering comes down. Static Storm, everything there. Flaming Panda actually taking a lot of damage here, but oh my god, that Static Storm plus the wall combo, too beautiful. 3 heroes drop immediately. And oh man, and Void, he's not done just yet. They want the RPO as well. Are they going to get him? He's going to get the Temper Chain away. No bash this time around. They'll have the glimpse back in 4 seconds, but not even needed. 6FN comes in with the damage. It's endless from this Invoker.
Wow. 6FN with the baby Voker. He's out here. So much damage. Actually, the damage in that fight came out from the Disruptor. Mans did near 2k damage. Like you mentioned, perfect combination with the Static Storm, Thunderstrike, Doxia Wall, everything in one location. They didn't even need the bubble. That's not scary, right? The bubble is coming back Flaming Panda's gonna have this available for the next fight when they try to push high ground or even try to go for the Aegis.
This is the combo we were speaking about in the draft, right? This Darkseer plus Disruptor. This two hero combo absolutely decimates team fights. Because like you said, you spoke about this in another game we were watching earlier today. In fact, you were like, yes, the wall came down, but you hold on to that back for 3 more seconds, let the Static Storm come down, and then you bring them in with an added effect. But now down bottom, oh, Void, he gets incinerated, but look at that. Stun from Andrew, he's done 3, the back comes out, hits 4. Invoker combo, not there just yet. He didn't have the need for so damage, but lacking. So this time, it might be Stun Radiant getting that advantage in the fight. Stick defense getting gone on here, taking so much damage. Is he going to get exploded? No. Invincibility is invincibility at this point. Disruptor gonna fall as well. So it's a 2-for-1 trade. The Void does go down, and some life in the veins of the side of Microsoft and the side of Google here. Man, oh man, what an engagement!
Is alive. 6FN should not be alive right now. I should not be alive. Child Invoker edition, dude. He walks away there. There's no way that he's expecting that nobody has dust or sentries, but he's able to stay in one location. He lives. I'm kind of surprised that RPO didn't just drop Chakram directly on his face and try to see what would happen. And 6FN though stuck around a little bit too long, still on low HP. Fortune's End catches him out and roots him in position, and Purifying Flames. Job comes through and says, alright fam, listen, I'm an Oracle, so I saw your death anyway. Sorry fam. Why did 6FN stick around so long?
Hear me out. This was the play from Google Baarga, right? They're like, you know what, this Invoker thinks he's hot. We're gonna let him escape there. Then we're gonna let him go farm Ancients, right? That's 300 added gold to his net worth. Then we're gonna kill him with 4 heroes around with the AoE gold multiplier, and that's more gold. Talk about algorithms with me now, Snare.
Yo, fam, I know this is a Google team, but damn, that's way too much #calculated. That's
GH gonna get pulled back in here. If you didn't have damage to fall off to kill him though, it's just Darkseer and Disruptor. This time around, doesn't look like it. Oh! And now Void gonna chrono here. Gonna catch 2. Oh! Lion in the back, Andrew, he catches the Oracle, so there's no save available. Warlock needs to get forced down. The fight gonna break out. Everything getting thrown on 3 man. Stun from the Monkey King, but it's not gonna mean much because there's nobody else around. He's gonna try to get off the ulti, give himself some added armor, gonna survive for the moment. Might kill 2 supports in the backline. Sunstrike gonna come out. GH takes a massive amount of damage there. He might be out with his life though. It's a 2-for-1 trade, just 1 support for 2 supports. Not the worst thing ever for either team. I mean, a lot of team fight spells are committed from the Dire, Chronosphere, Static Storm, Wall, everything there.
Yeah, so they actually can't push more aggressively off of this. They can maybe go try to take Roche, but they can't go for a tier 2, can't go for high ground. That's actually pretty huge for Google Baarga. They're going to be quite happy with how that played out. Another huge thing for that is they actually didn't even need to lose any of their supports at all, except for the Warlock. Warlock was dead no matter what. But had they retreated instantly, instead of maybe sticking around for a couple of pot shots with GH, they might have all survived there. And of course, above is starting to get to that point where, all right, this is not ignorable anymore. Hurricane Pike is going to be finished soon, and we're not fully there yet for the Drow, but we already saw a single multi-shot actually killed the Lion almost from 100 to 0 in that last engagement. So things are getting very scary. Sure, GH doesn't have that much damage to provide for his team, but they're actually having some troubles killing him unless they're all in on this hero. So as long as he's alive, allowing Above to stay back. And remember, this is what we were saying in the drop, right? And eventually, hard as this game is, eventually RPO will get to a point where even if he's not doing any damage, he's still taking a little bit longer for him to kill.
Yeah, at this point, they're kind of just ignoring him, right? He just kind of got free reign in this fight. He's only died 3 times and 2 of those 3 deaths were in the laning phase. Getting kind of nicely on the Timber now. He's slowly but surely getting to where he needs to be. Not that far behind the Darkseer at this point.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This Void getting bigger and bigger by the minute. Sorry, I just stole your line there. He's pretty huge at this point.
Oh, we should have just jinxed each other there.
Radiant are scanning.
Alright, here's huge. Here we go. Invoker has Axe. This is a big deal. This is very, very important. Now that we have Cataclysm, every single time a Chronosphere comes out, heroes are going to melt absolutely. And before we've seen that a couple of times that some very key heroes have gotten lucky on the side of Google Baarga. Like the Timber Sword didn't die. At one point, the Drow survived for a lot longer than she should have. But now with Cataclysm, that has never happened. If you get Chrono, you're going to die every single time.
Radiant's middle tower
And
is
that
under
was
attack.
the defining change in the last engagement, right? The Invoker wasn't alive because he died from that earlier gank. That's why even though the side of Microsoft Silver Edge Lords has such a big network advantage, they can't win a fight if 6FN is not there.
They're playing very carefully right now on the side of Google Baarga, all clumped up together. Ah, above! Maybe you don't want to be the one leading the charge there. I know you've got an Oracle behind you, but maybe send the Timber Saw. I don't know if they're waiting for a smoke or if they think a smoke is coming into them. Either way, okay, there we go. They're going to smoke up now. Instantly get
Warlock
popped.
leading.
Warlock bumping the charge. Going to be a huge 2-man Earth Spy coming in, but they've already eviscerated the Lion. Chaos Meteor jumps over. There's going to be a 3-man Chronosphere. The Cataclysm will come out. It's going to connect onto GH. It's going to connect onto Poirier. There's 3 down. 1 more to fall in GH. He's trying to survive inside the Wukong's command, but will not be able to do so. And now Flaming Panda wants to try and finish the job onto RPO. The Glimpse will pull him right back into the tier 2. Make this a team wipe. It's going to be a triple kill for FN. And between the 3-man Chrono, Flaming Panda, and FN, with the wonderful Cataclysm, they completely eviscerate that fight on the side of the Microsoft Silver Edge Lords.
I thought Google found a way to win the fight with the fact that Drow above got the silence on the Disruptor there immediately because there was a 3-man kinetic field that came down. But had he not got silence, that fight would have went even worse because the Static Storm was about to follow. But unfortunately, at this point, they're so far behind that even with getting the silence and Disruptor, you just get the rest of the heroes jumping in. It was a beautiful chrono from Mr. Flaming Panda. The Cataclysm, like you said, once that thing follows, the damage in chrono never becomes an issue. Flaming Panda can sit and toad in there for all week here with Cataclysm around because heroes are just going to die that way anyways.
Yep. Now with that massive victory in tow, can walk on into the Roshan pit, claim their prize, get themselves the Aegis. Invoker reached level 20 off of the back of that engagement. Pretty huge. And we're about to hit level 20 for Flaming Panda as well. And level 20 on Faceless Void is terrifying, fam. Yo. It is not fun to play against. So we are getting to this point in the game where Void, even outside of having Chronosphere available, it's going to be extremely threatening just being present in these engagements.
Just what I need.
And look at the discipline from these carry players. Man's bought a BKB in a winning game on Void. I did not see that one coming.
Discipline.
Better man than I am is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Sometimes I skip BKB in losing games. You know, the rationale is like, look, we're already losing, man. I need the gold for damage, fam.
I get you. There's a reason we in the casting box, right? Snare, not playing these matches.
Absolutely. Oh god, not scary. Did you see the item that just got picked up by the Disruptor? Just got himself
no.
a scope. Oh
With
no.
a lion on his team as well. My oh my.
The lion on his team and Aether Lens for both of them. Oh, okay, no Aether Lens for Anu, but he has Blink Dagger on the lion.
Yeah, this might be the last hurrah for the side of Google 2. They want to go in, they smoke up. We're gonna get an Orchid out, but he's onto the Timber, so not too impactful. Aren't you gonna? Oh my god, that Cronus of Flaming Panda, he catches all 5. It's a disaster. Static Storm there to follow. The kill 2 immediately make that 3, but the rest about to follow. Charles falls down as well. GH, the last survivor, but for how long, Snare? He's gonna be a ticking time bomb. Gonna get glimpsed back, actually away from his team. Might save him. Nope, not really. He dies as well. It's a full 5-man wipe. What a chrono! Save that for the highlight reel.
A full 5-man chrono. You don't get these anymore. All 5 heroes caught immediately. The Drow Ranger, she's not in a position whatsoever to be able to counter that. We see Oracle very in the smack bang in the middle of it, so they're not able to use False Promise either. Instantly, the fight is over. Now with that, you were mentioning that might be the last fight left in the game. It really is feeling that way. These racks are melting. This is Invoker with Alacrity, Forge Spirits, and looking like all the world like it's GG. Sure, the heroes are about to respawn. They're that far behind on experience that their respawn timers are super short. There are 25,000 gold down on experience, and they don't even have ultimate to take this next engagement. You see the Warlock getting dragged back into the middle of all the enemy crossfire. They do manage though, at the very least, to scare them back. Above is still a little bit of a damage threat, even though this hero is quite fragile. And again, what you were mentioning, the discipline. They have Aegis, they have BKB, but they still say, you know what, let's just walk this back. We'll wait for the next push. We'll finish pushing out the top wave as well.
100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 1 So Microsoft might have taken a couple of hits from Google in the tech wars, but this Microsoft Dota team is not going to make those same mistakes.
So you're saying that they're gonna support open source software?
Double damage.
I'm going to say, business acumen, they will never let Google get bigger than Yahoo.
There we go. There we go. That's the 9,000 level IQ plays that we need. What we don't need is for Above. Oh no, my friend. Above is completely isolated. Tries to run away with the Hurricane Pike. Cold Snap will be juked out. These are some decent jukes coming in from above. And here comes GH to try and help out. BKB now gets popped. GH is going to be laying down the Wukong's command, at the very least creating some space. Oh my goodness, the Boundless Strike will be there onto Flaming Panda. Flaming Panda is not being allowed to kill this Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger turning around with the false promise. She's still alive. Above, not going down at all. Getting healed up by the Oracle. And this still keeps her going. Flaming Panda. BKB is set to finish quite soon. GH still staying alive a little bit longer. Wait, what? Using the Mischief to dodge out some additional spawns from Invoker. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. And he does end up going down on the Monkey King. Now, huge vacuum into the wall, into a 3-man chrono. And they eviscerate everybody inside the bubble. It's 4 heroes down. The last survivors, RPO, trying to escape to the northeast of the map. But they don't
actually going to chase him. This mad Invoker. He's got the Orchid ready, so you might as well. Let's see if RPO is the wiser. I don't think he is. Oh, the Orchid just not there in time. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, the Timber Chain's gonna keep him alive. He's fine. He's fine, man. He's fine. Is he?
Is he?
He's fine, man. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Fine, man. Oh my. Okay, never mind. 6FN says he's not fine. 6FN says, when I say you die, my friend. I want a team wipe, and a team wipe I will have. While he's doing it, his team is just casually cleaning out a full set of barracks, both middle and top. Easy game.
I think his team are kind of missing him here to deal with Drow Ranger, but forget the Drow Ranger, he's going in the Monkey King here. Decent amount of damage, but not enough against the tier 4's added armor. But he's still going. No chill available on 6FN. He's just making space. He's team trying to get the Mega Creeps.
They not only get Mega Creeps, they also get the kill onto the Drow Ranger, and then 6FN turns around back onto Bikau, and with all the False Promise and saving spells already being used, I doubt this Warlock will survive. And now they're just playing with their food. They know they've gotten themselves the victory. They know they're in a positive position. Static Storm dropped into the fountain just for good measure. And at long last, they throw in the towel. The torture will end. And they will declare this over. Google Bragas throw in the towel. And the Microsoft Silver Edgelords keep the streak of dominance going. Man, these guys are
looking like the team to beat, right? They're definitely looking like the team to beat right now. I mean, yeah, I say this week's performance was even more clinical than not last week's, rather the week before last week's matchup. They just played exceptional today. They drafted well, they played cohesive team fights, they laned well. They, again, like you mentioned, they showed the discipline when they were pushing Raxes and the buybacks were there. All around top tier performance from the Silver Edgelords.
Yeah, extremely good performance from them. We saw throughout the entire game as well. They kept playing disciplinedly. I think the thing that impressed me the most personally about what they did is that, okay, the template on some of the item builds was kind of hilarious, but what really, really impressed me is that they were like, all right, one lane is going mediocre, this bottom lane with the dogs here. You know, a lot of lesser teams these days are like, okay, we just hyper farm the lanes that are going well, but they're like, no, Invoker, go bot, help out the team there. Faceless Void, go middle, take over there, get the tower, and then from there, we just wipe the whole map. You know, 2 out of 3 is not good enough. What if we just get ourselves the full 3 out of 3 and we'll be okay?
Okay, hear me out, Snare. The Disruptor did more damage than the Faceless Void. I was actually just came first thing to come check here because I was like, in that one fight where he did that static storm onto 3 heroes there, he literally 100-0 3 separate heroes, and man oh man, Rabbit Ginger went 7-2-23. That, like, obviously MVP is gonna go to 6FN here, but second MVP, definitely the Disruptor.
Well, at this point, you hear it here from KC. The Microsoft Silver Edgelords are the team to beat by a country mile. It's been 3 weeks of them on stream and 3 weeks of us being thoroughly entertained by what they have to bring to the table. Google Bragas, it's not over yet, you know, it's still early days. We're going to see a lot of what's going to happen.
But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to close things out from us for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Snare. This is KChicktay. This has been the Corporate Esports Association, and we have another victory in the bag. Stay tuned. Make sure you don't go away. Week 4 will commence very, very shortly for more Dota 2 action. Follow all the channels, follow all the actions, and make sure that you stay connected to the hype. So we'll see you in the future, ladies and gentlemen, for some more incredible Dota 2 action.
Yeah. MD, JPB, it's only right, baby. Yeah, why you mad? I got a bag, bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stubbed, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go and run it back. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah. You know. I said, damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah, let's go. Look. I told Shorty drop it for a real one. Yeah. Go ahead and pop it, let me feel some. Do it for the boy with a bag now. Movie star money making everybody act out. I don't lie to these women. If I want them, then I tell them. Don't get fly for these women. I was born with these propellers. All my haters cannot beat me, so I call them acapellas. See, I'm only getting better. You only get jealous. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. You know, I got this one, that one.